Today's news highlights. Date February 7, 2025. News highlights: the controversy over U.S. government funding of the media continues to simmer. Right-wing journalist Johnson broke the news that Politico was unable to pay salaries on time due to the termination of USAID's funding, and criticized management for concealing the loss of funds. Journalist Wheeler pointed to Politico receiving $34.3 million in federal agency funding. Musk also criticized FDA employees for subscribing to Politico Pro with public funds. A White House spokesman said such funding would be discontinued in the future. In addition, the New York Times and the Associated Press have been accused of receiving government funding for a long time, raising questions about the independence of the media. News highlights: security researchers have discovered that the website code of DeepSeek, a Chinese AI company, may send some user login information to China Mobile. Research has shown that DeepSeek's login system is connected to China Mobile's infrastructure and may involve data fingerprinting. Experts warn that this poses a similar or even higher security risk than TikTok. The association has been confirmed by Ferret, a Canadian cybersecurity company, and academic experts, and although no data transmission has been observed at this time, the risk remains. DeepSeek and China Mobile did not respond to comment. News highlights: the FSC has warned that illegal overseas insurance policy fraud is rampant, and has recently used social media platforms such as Instagram to lure people to buy unapproved insurance policies using wealth freedom as an inducement. This type of policy is usually written in English, paid in a foreign currency, and does not have a Taiwanese legal reference number. The FSC reminds the public to be vigilant and avoid being deceived when purchasing such insurance policies, as they may face claims disputes, opaque information, lack of legal protection, fraud risks, and even the inability to enjoy tax incentives. News highlights: recently, the well-known artist S died suddenly due to complications from the flu in Japan, which aroused people's attention to the issue of traveling to Japan for medical treatment. The Japan Tourism Agency provides a guide to the use of medical institutions, so that visitors can search for suitable medical institutions by region, language, and medical department. The consultation process includes registration, medical record filling, consultation, payment and medication collection, and some clinics only accept cash payment. In case of emergency, you can call 119 or ask people around you for help, and use simple Japanese to communicate, such as. News highlights: the EU may use the anti-coercion tool, ACI, in response to Trump's tariffs on EU goods, and retaliatory measures may be aimed at the US Silicon Valley tech giants, including raising tariffs, restricting imports and exports, and revoking commercial rights. ACI can also block foreign investment or restrict financial services. While the EU has stressed that it will respond strongly, some member states are concerned about the impact of the trade war on the economy. Retaliatory measures require approval by 15 member states, and consultations can take weeks. News highlights: the Perplexity search engine recently deployed DeepSeek R1, a Chinese AI inference model, claiming that it is not subject to Chinese censorship and that user data will not be transmitted to China. This model can answer previously restricted political questions in Excel in applications such as travel planning. Free users can use the professional search 5 times a day. Experts recommend that inference models should be used with clear objectives, response formats, considerations, and background information to get the best results. DeepSeek R1 combines network search to bring users a more free and accurate AI experience. News highlights: an explosion occurred at the chemical fiber factory of Far Eastern Nu, 1402, in Xinpu town yesterday, 6, resulting in 2 deaths, 5 serious injuries and 14 minor injuries, and the Ministry of Labor has ordered a shutdown. The accident caused a gas explosion due to a leak in the insulation pipeline, affecting the 160-ton per day production line, but the company said that the impact on operations was limited. There have been 5 fires at the plant since 2019, and the Ministry of Labor records show that it has been fined for multiple violations. With the tightening of ESG standards, how Far Eastern Nu future strengthens industrial safety will be concerned by the market. News highlights: Apple's M5 processor has been mass-produced, and continues to be exclusively manufactured by TSMC, 2330, using the N3P process, which improves performance and energy efficiency compared with the previous generation. The M5 series will be subdivided into M5 Pro, M5 Max, and M5 Ultra, with the high-end version adopting SOI-ChemH packaging technology for the first time to enhance heat dissipation and performance. Apple continues to increase TSMC's advanced manufacturing process, pushing up TSMC's revenue, and plans to use 2nm process in the future. TSMC is a leader in high-end chip manufacturing, and the 3nm and 5nm processes have accounted for the majority of its revenue, and continue to enjoy technological advantages. News highlights: U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent said Trump is focusing on the 10-year Treasury yield, rather than the Fed's short-term benchmark interest rate. Bessent stressed that expanding energy supply can effectively reduce inflation and restore confidence among wage earners. He pointed out that the 10-year Treasury yield is the benchmark for many lending rates, and the Fed's rate cuts have failed to effectively curb the rise in interest rates. Trump believes that lowering energy prices and cutting taxes can reduce concerns about interest rates and the dollar. News highlights: the merger between Nissan and Honda is almost certain to be broken, and Nissan has begun to seek other strategic partners and is interested in partnering with technology companies, with some directors open to working with Honhai. Honhai had previously approached Nissan and had planned to acquire Renault's stake in Nissan. Nissan's main target market is North America, and it is focusing on electric vehicles and autonomous driving technology, and is exploring cross-border collaborations. Nissan has not yet disclosed the details of the plan, and expects to announce the results of the negotiations in mid-February. News highlights: the 42-year-old Golden Horse actor Ruan Jingpian climbed to the peak of his career again with Removing the Three Evils Everywhere, but he lost his mother in May last year, ushering in the new year without a mother for the first time. On the 3rd day of the Lunar New Year, he carried the garbage discarded by the roadside home with an unkempt and lonely look, suspected to avoid being reported. Ruan Jingpian once revealed that he said goodbye to his grandfather, grandmother, and mother within 3 years, and his grief could not be erased. After his mother's funeral, he took a short break from work, and now he has returned to the crew to devote himself to a new work. News highlights: Gu Junyi endured the pain of losing his wife, started a war against SSX husband Wang Xiaofei, secretly scolded the other party and pretended to be desolate and ran away in the rain, and emphasized that the property due to the child must be supervised by a lawyer. Wang Xiaofei counterattacked through her friends, denied acting, and said that she was so grief-stricken that she had a nervous breakdown. Friends questioned whether anyone had asked about the child's wishes. Netizens lamented that the most pitiful thing is the 10-year-old daughter and the 8-year-old son, the choice between father and grandmother. No matter what, it is difficult to avoid the pain of losing a loved one. News highlights: on the 5th day of the Lunar New Year, Big S died suddenly due to influenza complicated by pneumonia, and her ex-husband Wang Xiaofei cried with grief and frequently confessed to his ex-wife, causing his ex-girlfriend Zhang Yingying to criticize him for setting up an affectionate personality. Zhang Yingying accused Wang Xiaofei of cheating after marriage, and said that she had never contacted Big S, and angrily accused the other party of maliciously smearing. Senior paparazzi Ge Saiki choked her and said that the junior is not qualified to blame. Netizens have different opinions on the incident. Some people think that Wang Xiaofei is calculated, and some people question that both sides have their own plans, and the whole turmoil continues to ferment. News highlights: Big S died in Japan due to influenza complicated by pneumonia, and the ashes were escorted back to Taiwan by his family on a private charter flight on the 5th, but it was rumored that the charter fee was paid by Wang Xiaofei. On the 6th, Wang Xiaofei angrily swore during Zhang Lan's live broadcast, denied the rumors of charter flights, and denounced her mother for spreading rumors. Netizens found that the rumors originated from Zhang Lan's godson Sun Xiaojian, and the Douyin account has been blocked. Zhang Lan's live broadcast response was vague and did not clarify clearly, which sparked more discussion in the outside world. News highlights: Li Wenhong, executive director of the National Defense and Security Research Institute, resigned due to health reasons, but it was revealed that he had a close relationship with a female colleague, and even sent ambiguous messages such as "I miss you so much." In this regard, his wife Chen Daiyu issued a clarification, saying that Li Wenhong can't even distinguish the front and back of clothes, and it is difficult to become a scumbag, and emphasized that "I miss you so much" is just the lyrics of the song, and he has passed it on from generation to generation. She even humorously said that she had dealt with her husband's family law and would strictly discipline her in the future, saying frankly that if the family education is not strict, I am sorry for the girls in the world, and responded to the questions of the outside world in a humorous tone. News highlights: the third wave of cold snap will move south today, 7th, and the temperature in Taiwan will drop sharply from the afternoon, and the north of central China and Yunnan may drop to 8 degrees Celsius after nightfall, and only about 11 degrees Celsius will be left in the south and Huadong, and the low temperature is expected to continue until the 10th. Meteorological expert Lin Lin pointed out that the number of cold days this winter has reached 26, which is the coldest in the past decade. The cold snap is coming, especially in the north and northeast, and people are reminded to stay warm in case the weather changes suddenly affect their health. News highlights: Beigong Palace was selected as the runner-up of the strongest temple in 2024, attracting 8.3 million believers to worship, but it became the target of a fraud syndicate, and was even deceived by AI fake chairman Lin Onal's video report. In order to combat fraud, Wuyud Palace responded to the call of the Airly Group and became the first palace temple in Taiwan to join the fraud team. Lam called on the government to investigate quickly and impose heavy fines, and reminded the public to raise awareness of fraud prevention and avoid social media investment fraud, emphasizing that the God of wealth protects people's livelihood and the economy, and the religious sector has the responsibility to protect the wealth of believers. News highlights: the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, with the assistance of Taiwanese police, has arrested a wanted Taiwanese suspect surnamed Tsai in Los Angeles for drunk driving and sexual assault of a young child, and will be repatriated within weeks. After Trump took office, many federal agencies stepped up law enforcement to crack down on illegal immigration. Yang Lijing, the liaison officer of the Taiwan Police Department in the United States, said that as the United States strengthens immigration enforcement, more fugitive wanted criminals may be arrested and deported in the future. This operation demonstrates the achievements of Taiwan's law enforcement cooperation, and also shows the tough attitude of the United States towards illegal immigration crimes. News highlights: Big S, Su Ziwan, died suddenly in Japan on February 2nd, and his ashes returned to Taiwan on a VistaJet charter flight. Recently, it was rumored on the internet that the charter fee was paid by her ex-husband Wang Xiaofei, which triggered a strong refutation from Xiao S and her best friend Xu Yongxia. Xiao S's agent clarified that all arrangements were made by the Su family, and condemned the rumors, saying that people are watching the sky. Xu Yongxia criticized the attacks of the Navy, saying that these works were extremely crude. JetBay, a private charter company, also issued a statement, confirming that the fees were all paid by Xiao S, and denied the internet legend. News highlights: after the S, Su Ziwan, died of illness, the ashes returned to Taiwan by private jet, but Zhang Lan's godson Xiao Xiaojian spread rumors on Douyin that Wang Xiaofei would pay for the charter flight. Xiao S issued a clarification, emphasizing that all arrangements were made by the Su family, and expressed confusion and anger at the rumors. Xiao Xiaojian's account was later emptied and banned from following, and Zhang Lan's live broadcast was also reported and banned due to rumors. News highlights: 48-year-old actress S, Su Ziwan, died of influenza complicated by pneumonia, shocking the entertainment industry. Her husband Gu Junyi recently publicly stated that he would hand over the SS estate to his mother-in-law, and promised to protect the SS family. However, the lawyer pointed out that if Gu Junyi renounces the inheritance, the SS' two minor children will inherit the property, but with the consent of their biological father Wang Xiaofei, and Wang Xiaofei will manage it. If Gu Junyi adopts two children, Wang Xiaofei's consent is also required, and the interference of his biological father cannot be avoided in law. News highlights: Big S, Su Ziwan, unfortunately died of influenza complicated by pneumonia, and her husband Gu Junyi returned to Taiwan by private jet with Su's mother, and Xiao S. Gu Junyi expressed his feelings on Instagram, expressing his deep grief and promising to hand over the SS inheritance to SS mother, emphasizing that this is the result of the SS efforts for his family during his lifetime. In the face of gossip from the outside world, Gu Junyi bitterly criticized Wang Xiaofei's false behavior and begged Big S to rest in peace. Xiao S. also refuted the rumors of Wang Xiaofei's charter flight, emphasizing that the costs and arrangements would be handled by the Su family. News highlights the Taipei Municipal Bureau of Labor announced that in December 2024, 106 companies violated the labor standards law, with a total fine of 7.63 million yuan. Guanghua Bus was fined up to 1 million yuan for failing to give shift employees 11 hours of rest time in accordance with regulations, and the total fine for the whole year was 2 million yuan, ranking first among all enterprises. Violations include failure to pay overtime in accordance with the law, failure to give rest days, failure to pay wages in full, etc. The Labor Bureau calls on enterprises to comply with laws and regulations to protect workers' rights and interests, and has launched the Laborer Health Inspector Service to assist employers in complying with labor laws and regulations. News highlights DeepSeek, a mainland startup, has rocked the AI industry by launching a low-cost and high-efficiency AI open-source model to compete with the products of American tech giants, and is seen as an important force in changing the market ecology. DeepSeek concept stocks have risen sharply, with Daily Interactive up more than 137% year-to-date. However, Daily Interactive clarified that it does not own an equity stake in DeepSeek, noting that the two companies are only working together on a business basis to develop products using the DeepSeek model. Nonetheless, Huatai Securities believes that the emergence of DeepSeek will help close the valuation gap between US and Chinese technology stocks and reassess the strength and potential of China's AI technology. News highlights the computing model launched by DeepSeek, a mainland startup, has subverted the high-end AI chip industry, greatly reducing costs and improving computing efficiency by omitting the training step of value functions. Psychiatrist Shen Zhenan pointed out that DeepSeek adjusts the learning steps through self-evaluation, which is similar to the learning method of the human brain, avoiding a large number of chip calculations, which has become an important breakthrough in the field of AI. He believes that China has become the second strongest country in the world in the field of AI and is quickly catching up with the United States. News highlights Han star Gu Junyi spoke out for the first time after the death of Big S, refuting the rumors and announcing that he would give up Big S's estate and hand over all rights to SS mother. Lawyer Li Yujin said that Gu Junyi's behavior was very handsome, and suggested that if Wang Zifei wants to fight back, she should express her willingness to let her family live a stable life and let go of the SS inheritance. Li Yujin pointed out that if you want to abandon the estate, you must submit a written application to the court. Netizens reacted to whether Wang Zifei could show a big weapon, which sparked discussion. News highlights after the sudden death of DS, the controversy over the cost of transporting ashes caused a storm of public opinion. The Chinese influencer claimed that Wang Zifei would pay for the expenses, but Xiao S emphasized that everything was borne by the Su family. Later, it was found that the internet celebrity was related to Wang Zifei's mother Zhang Lan, and was suspected of accusing public opinion. Wang Zifei was emotional during Zhang Lan's live broadcast, and accused her mother of controlling public opinion, and did not turn off the amplification in time, suspected of deliberately exposing the dispute. This incident triggered condemnation from netizens, who believed that Zhang Lan used this to divert criticism of Wang Zifei from the outside world. Wang Zifei did not respond publicly, and Zhang Lan continued to broadcast. News highlights after the sudden death of Big S, every move of her ex-mother-in-law Zhang Lan attracted attention. She posted a video on social platforms to encourage herself, and after being criticized by netizens, she deleted the article and changed her words, saying that the death of Big S was a common loss. 3 days later, she returned to work and published a high-emotional live broadcast, accusing a water army group of hacking her. Some netizens expressed dissatisfaction with her return to work and criticized her for eating human blood steamed buns. In addition, the lie about Wang Zifei's payment for the charter flight was refuted by Xiao S, saying that all the arrangements were the responsibility of the Su family, and said that he could not understand the appearance of the lie. News highlights China Airlines chairman Xie Shiqian died suddenly of myocardial infarction in January at the age of 73, and a farewell ceremony was held today, 7. His daughter, the band Wangfei bass pusher, Xie Jinru, celebrated her 45th birthday yesterday, and she was busy preparing for her father's farewell ceremony, which became a particularly unforgettable memory. She said that although she was without her father's company this year, his love still supported her. In the face of the death of her loved ones, she admitted that she was more courageous and cherished her family more, and thanked everyone for their blessings and shared photos with her husband and children. News highlights the latest episode of China Television's variety show Class Awesome invited music producer Zhang Haifeng to appear again, and Kong Kong humorously said that because of his last visit, the ratings soared, especially the young people responded enthusiastically. He also apologized to Zhang Haifeng, admitting that he had misunderstood that the other party relied on his sister to enter the industry, and said with a smile, if you want to rely on your sister, his name will be Long Haifeng. In the program, Zhang Haifeng shared the arduous journey of serving as Liu Jiacheng's assistant and realized the importance of perseverance. In addition, Kong Kong also revealed that the classic song Sister Kai Lives in the City was originally composed for Chen Lei, but in the end it became his masterpiece. News highlights Taiwanese actress DS, Su Ziwan, died of illness in Japan, which made relatives, friends, and fans grieve, but her ex-husband Wang Zifei's behavior after coming to Taiwan caused heated discussions. Zhang Yingying, the old love who was once accused of being a little 3, spoke out again, angrily criticizing Wang Zifei's affectionate intention to whitewash, and broke the news that he cheated in the second year of marriage, and deceived countless women over the years. She scolded Wang Zifei and her mother Zhang Lan for drinking human blood and eating human flesh, and even after the SS death, she was still busy with public opinion control, and bluntly said, what about your heart? Netizens have discussed this, and the turmoil continues to burn. News highlights Taiwanese actress DS, Su Ziwan, died in Tokyo on the 2nd due to influenza complicated by pneumonia, was cremated on the 3rd, and her family chartered a plane to send the ashes back to Taiwan on the 5th and place them in a mansion in Xinyi district. Zhang Lan's godson Xiaojian broke the news that the charter fee was paid by Wang Zifei, but he was slapped in the face by the airline, and Xiao S. Wang Zifei even rarely became angry and foul in her mother's live broadcast, angrily scolding, why is this always the case? Xiao S. clarified that the Su family was responsible for all the aftermath expenses, and expressed his anger at the false rumors. The airline also issued a statement to refute the rumors, confirming that the fee was paid in full by Xiao S. company, and the incident sparked heated discussions among netizens. News highlights Gu Junyi announced that he would hand over the inheritance of Big S to SS mother, showing his commitment to his wife's family. The lawyer reminded that if you choose to abandon the inheritance will be inherited by the children, because the guardianship is in the hands of Wang Xiaofei, which may lead to the flow of the inheritance to the Wang family. It is recommended that Gu Junyi inherit first and then transfer to ensure the safety of the property, although he may need to pay gift tax, but can effectively control the distribution. If Big S has a will, it should be confirmed that it will not affect Gu Junyi's special retention points to ensure the smooth execution of his will. News highlights actress S died of influenza complicated by pneumonia on the 2nd at the age of 48, and her ashes were escorted back to Taiwan by her husband Gu Junyi on the 5th. In response to online rumors, Gu Junyi made a rare statement, criticizing someone for deliberately smearing the image of the family. Big SS agent Liao Wiki forwarded and clarified 5 major rumors, including insurance money, ashes placement, etc., and angrily denounced ugly human nature made me see hell. In addition, Xiao S also refuted the rumor that the charter fee was paid by Wang Xiaofei, emphasizing that all arrangements were made by the Su family, pointing out that the false accusations were intolerable. News highlights a Malaysian woman contracted influenza complicated by pneumonia while traveling to Japan, and because she thought that the medical expenses were expensive, she endured the pain and cooled down with medication, avoiding customs inspection and returning to Malaysia. After arriving, her blood oxygen dropped to extremely low levels, and she was rushed to the ICU for treatment, and recovered after being hospitalized for 5 days and 4 nights. She later learned that the symptoms were similar to those of Big S, and lamented that she was lucky to escape. This incident has aroused concern and reminded passengers to take their health seriously and avoid delays in treatment. News highlights the police confirmed her identity through DNA comparison, and found her skin and internal organs in the Tianjin Canal, but the muscle tissue was missing, and other places where the body was abandoned. In addition, a police investigation found that a woman from Soying had been missing since mid-January and was suspected to be a possible second victim. At present, the suspect surnamed Zhang has been transferred to the Kaohsiung District Prosecutor's Office, and a detention court is expected to be held today, and the case is still under further investigation. News highlights Gao Lingfeng's eldest daughter Ji Chinayu, Bao, has an excellent singing voice, and once won the championship in the draft and made her debut in a group, but it was difficult to find opportunities in Taiwan, and even worked in a toy store to make a living. In August last year, she went to the mainland with her younger brother Ji Zeon, Bao Di, to develop, invested in the popular vertical screen drama, filmed many works in the past 6 months, and gradually gained a firm foothold. She said frankly that although she was worried about the lack of adaptation and economic pressure, she has overcome the challenges and will develop on the mainland for a long time in the future. Gao Lingfeng's children are all engaged in performing arts to continue their father's artistic talent. News highlights to S. Su Ziwan, died of influenza complicated by pneumonia in Japan, and was escorted back to Taiwan by his family on the 5th. Regarding the cost of private charter flights, it was once rumored that her ex-husband Wang Xiaofei was responsible for it, but Xiao S and the charter company denied this statement. Yesterday, it was rumored that Wang Xiaofei called and scolded Zhang Lan in the live broadcast, and asked why she was always misunderstood. Netizens found that the rumors related to Wang Xiaofei's charter flight originated from Zhang Lan's son Xiao Xiaojian, and the account was subsequently banned. Wang Xiaofei was angry about this and burst into foul language on the phone. News highlights artist S. Su Ziwan, died in Japan due to flu complicated by pneumonia, and the news shocked the entertainment industry. After his ashes returned to Taiwan, there were rumors that the ashes would be placed at home forever, which aroused the attention of netizens. Numerologist Zhang Bail pointed out on Facebook that it is not advisable to leave the ashes at home, because it will confuse the aura of the living and the dead, which may lead to physical discomfort, serious illness, and even mental problems. He strongly recommends that the ashes should be kept in a dedicated place and not at home. News highlights actress S. Su Ziwan, died suddenly in Japan due to the flu, which caused concern about medical problems when traveling abroad. Dr. Su Yifeng, a thoracologist, shared the case of treating a LU passenger who contracted the flu during a trip to Taiwan and his severe illness worsened, and was intubated and fitted with a leaf-gram membrane for treatment. Although the medical process lasted for a month and was finally successfully rescued, the family was surprised that the medical expenses in Taiwan were less than 500,000 yuan, and called it so cheap. Dr. Su said that Taiwan is not only a good place to visit, but also the most suitable country in the world to get sick. News highlights after the sudden death of S. Su Ziwan, her husband Gu Junyi faced the work of her ex-husband Wang Xiaofei and her ex-mother-in-law, and published a long article expressing her unwillingness to inherit the SS estate, and emphasized that she would protect the rights and interests of her children through the law. Wang Xiaofei responded, saying that she would prepare to confront Gu Junyi, and emphasized that she was not acting, and she was currently unable to get out of bed due to a mental breakdown, and would deal with the next legal dispute after her emotional recovery. News highlights Li Wenzhong, the former chief executive of the National Defense Security Research Institute, resigned for health reasons, but at the same time, it was rumored that he had inappropriate speech and behavior towards female colleagues. The harassment messages exposed show that Li Wenzhong once passed ambiguous sentences such as "I miss you so much" and invited colleagues to climb the mountain. Li Wenzhong's wife, Chen Daiyu, posted a post late at night emphasizing that Li Wenzhong had been dealt with by family law, and apologized for failing to effectively discipline her husband, emphasizing that she would supervise her husband with the strictest standards in the future, and apologized to all women. News highlights Wu Mingxian, president of National Taiwan University Hospital, mentioned at the book launch that this year, light doctors are pursuing high salaries, preferring medical aesthetics or self-funded surgeries, and staying away from life-saving departments such as acute and critical care departments. He pointed out that last year, 4 neurosurgeons from the National Taiwan University branch in Hsinchu were poached, with a monthly salary of up to 700,000 yuan, which has exceeded the dean's salary. He stressed that doctors should do medical care to save lives, not just money, and called for the health insurance system to focus more on life-saving specialties so that doctors can stay and continue to serve the community. Dean Wu's speech was supported by Chen Jianzhen, academician of Academia Sinica, and Lin Xiaotang, honorary professor of National Taiwan University School of Medicine, and expressed appreciation for his humanistic care and leadership style. News highlights today, the cold snap will move south, and the temperature will drop significantly, and the Central Meteorological Administration will issue a special report on low temperatures. From the afternoon, the temperature will drop to 8 to 10 degrees in the north and east, and there is a chance that it will drop below 6 degrees in some areas. There is a chance of heavy rain in Keelung, Yunnan and other places. Please pay attention to keeping warm and prevent rainfall. The low temperature area includes New Taipei, Hsinchu, Taipei and other places, and the cold area covers Nantou, Chi, Tainan and other places. News highlights Big S Su Ziwan passed away due to influenza complicated by pneumonia. Gu Junyi returned to Taiwan with her ashes, and published a touching IG article, expressing the deep pain of losing his wife, and emphasizing that SS mother will handle Big SS inheritance. Regarding the rumors from the outside world, he bitterly refuted and begged S to rest in peace. Xiao S refuted Wang Xiaofei's rumors and emphasized that the charter fee was paid by the Su family. Big SS ashes are currently placed in his mansion, and a numerologist has been invited to assist with feng shui matters. News highlights rainy days bring romance, but they also come with health risks. Prolonged exposure to rain weakens the immune system, increases the risk of colds, and may worsen arthritis symptoms. Wearing wet clothes and shoes can also easily cause skin infections and even hypothermia. Walking in standing water can lead to exposure to bacteria and viruses, which can lead to gastrointestinal disorders. Slippery roads and rainy weather make pedestrians prone to falls, and traffic accidents have increased significantly, especially when there is poor visibility and slow reactions. News highlights the world's second largest footwear group Hongfu Industrial in Tainan construction project Hongfu broke ground yesterday. Chairman Zhang Kongyuan chose to return to his hometown to lay out Taiwan's real estate market. Zhang Kongyuan was the richest man in Taiwan for 3 consecutive years until he was surpassed by Quanta Chairman Barry Lin in 2024. He founded Hongfu Industry, which originated in Yunlin Sunthung, and later moved its headquarters to the mainland and carried out production capacity layout in many countries around the world. Zhang Kongyuan lives a low-key life and is rarely exposed to the media. News highlights a gas explosion occurred at the Far Eastern Xinfu chemical fiber plant on February 6, causing heavy casualties and killing 2 engineers, Cai Beiwei and Zhang Junyu. Cai Beiwei is 35 years old, leaving his wife and 2 young daughters, and his family asks the factory to be responsible. Cai has been working in the factory for nearly 9 years, and when the incident occurred, he received a fire alarm and went to check, but he was unexpectedly blown away by an air explosion. Zhang Junyu, 43 years old, had just been promoted to the supervisor on duty, but also suffered a gas explosion and died after being sent to the hospital. Far Eastern Group issued a statement apologizing for the accident and will assist the family, and will hire external experts to review the factory problem to prevent recurrence. News highlights U.S. President Donald Trump announced the creation of the White House Office of Faith on February 6, 2025, and signed an executive order requiring the Attorney General to investigate all discriminatory practices against Christianity in the federal government. This move is a cause for concern because it may violate the U.S. Constitution's provision for separation of church and state. At the National Prayer Breakfast, Trump emphasized the protection of the Christian faith, said that he would combat anti-Christian violence and destruction, and asked government agencies to protect Christians and religious believers. He instructed the Minister of Justice to set up a task force to ensure that Christianity was not discriminated against. News highlights Takia Kimura recently shared a souvenir from Taiwan on Instagram, and wrote "Souvenir from Taiwan," with a heart and folded hands emoji to express his excitement. The 3 dim sum items in the photo are Jinyuan Yang, egg yolk cake and taro emperor cake from Master Wang's cake shop. Takia Kimura has also praised Taiwanese pineapple cakes on social media in the past, showing his deep love for Taiwanese food. News highlights after the Su Ziwan passed away on February 2, Wang Xiaofei expressed her grief and walked home, but was accused by some netizens of hyping up the tragic character. Wang's mother Zhonglan even liked the comment on Weibo to support Wang Xiaofei's charter flight to pick up Big SS ashes back to Taiwan, which caused a storm of public opinion. Later, Xiao S clarified that the charter fee was paid by her, and the Su family handled the matter of Big S. Wang Xiaofei and her mother had a fierce conflict over the incident, and Wang Xiaofei angrily asked her mother why she liked and spread rumors, and expressed her dissatisfaction in her voice. News highlights actress Su Ziwan died of influenza complicated by pneumonia on the 2nd, and her husband Gu Junyi was silent for 4 days, and on the evening of the 6th, he expressed his grief for his deceased wife in Chinese and Korean, and thanked him for the time spent together. The captain of the Korean group Super Junior, also expressed his condolences through IG stories, sharing the wedding photos of Big S and Gu Junyi. Gu Junyi's statement caused Korean netizens to mourn and criticize Wang Xiaofei's attitude towards the grief of the SS family, pointing out that his behavior was inappropriate. News highlights Taiwan stocks have risen impressively in 2024, but many investors have felt less because of missed profit opportunities. TSMC benefited from the AI trend and surged by 81%, driving the return of technology-based ETFs to rise. Site predicts that technology will remain a bright spot in Taiwan stocks in 2025, and related supply chain companies such as AI, automation equipment, and electronic components will continue to grow. TSE pointed out that market capitalization ETFs reflect market trends, which investors can use to gain a grasp of technology stocks. The return rate of 0050 ETF is ahead of other high-dividend ETFs, and the manager fee will be reduced to 0.11%, reducing investment costs. News highlights during the Spring Festival, U.S. President Trump launched a tariff war, and Taiwan stocks faced pressure to make up for the decline at the open, with the Taiwan index closing down more than 1,000 points, and semiconductor stocks suffering setbacks. However, long-term bond ETFs bucked the trend and strengthened and became a safe haven for funds. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates unchanged and the 10-year Treasury yield fell, indicating that the bearish side is exhausted. As the uncertainty of the tariff war increases, investors can consider investing in bond ETFs and long-term U.S. bond ETFs to reduce the risk of capital market volatility and increase defensiveness through long-term and short-term bond strategies. News highlights the recent sell-off in AI stocks triggered by DeepSeek has made the market sentiment pessimistic, but Morgan Stanley noted that this is a good time to enter AI stocks, and reiterated Nvidia as the top pick, with a price target of $152. Despite the risk of further chip export controls, Morgan Stanley believes that the emergence of DeepSeek will not threaten Nvidia's market position, and points out that Nvidia's commercial strength is still strong, data center demand is solid, and market confidence will rebound in the future. After the sell-off, Nvidia shares still have the potential to rise by 18%. News highlights the film Swimming Air Breaking Through 3,000 Meters is about to start filming, and the story is adapted from the true events of 7 visually impaired people who successfully swim across Sun Moon Lake, which is inspiring. At a press conference on the 6th, producer Lee Yu expressed his reluctance to the sudden death of Big S, saying that hearing the news was like a hammer in his heart, and he lamented the impermanence of life. He revealed that he had distributed his inheritance and made an appointment to be vaccinated at his own expense, and also agreed with Xiao S for putting Big S's ashes at home, thinking that such a way of missing his family is very meaningful. News highlights unrest in the Democratic Republic of the Congo escalated again, with the Rwandan-backed rebel group Movement March 23, M23, tearing up a ceasefire and launching a siege campaign that killed at least 2,900 people. The latest eyewitness footage shows the streets filled with gunfire and M23 rebels fleeing in trucks during clashes on January 28. The ICRC noted that hospitals could not handle the large number of wounded, many of whom suffered head and chest injuries. The United Nations reported that more than 100 female prisoners were assaulted and burned to death in prisons following the rebel occupation of Goma. The Congolese government accused Rwanda of using the rebels to steal resources, while Rwanda stressed that it was in self-defense. News highlights Big S died suddenly of influenza complicated by pneumonia, which caused shock on both sides of the strait. Thoracic surgeon Su Yifeng shared his past experience that a little brother from the mainland came to Taiwan to play and contracted the flu, and his condition deteriorated rapidly, and he needed to be intubated and fitted with a leaf gram. After a month of treatment, the little brother was successfully rescued, and the family was surprised by the cost of less than NT $500,000 when they checked out. Su Yifeng pointed out that although Taiwan's medical treatment is not the best tourist destination, it is the best place to treat when you are sick. Netizens also praised Taiwan's medical care for being cheap and efficient. News highlights recently, Taiwan's recall wave has heated up, and on the 6th, the recall activities against Hong Menkai were accused of interference, and the recall group said that when the palace temple set up a joint station, the gate of the palace and temple was locked, and it was suspected that it was being monitored by plainclothes police. The group stressed that this is not the first time such repression has been carried out, and said that they will stand up for democratic rights even in the face of difficulties. The lieutenant commander denied obstruction, explained that he was not at the scene at the time, and stressed that if he intended to prevent it, he would directly state his position. News highlights a 70-year-old woman in Kaohsiung disappeared on the 2nd, and after police investigation, it was found that the woman finally appeared with a 73-year-old man surnamed Zhang, and was suspected of being killed by him and dismembered her body. Zhang Nan was sentenced to life imprisonment for sexual assault, robbery, and other crimes in the past, and was later pardoned and paroled. The police found bloodstains at Zhang Nan's residence and found suspected body parts in the drainage ditch, and although Zhang Nan denied the crime, he was still transferred to the court for homicide. The motive for the case is still under investigation. News highlights Da S died suddenly at the age of 48, which caused a shock in the Chinese entertainment industry. A Chinese internet celebrity claimed that the transportation cost of Da S's ashes was paid by her ex-husband Wang Xiaofei, but Xiao S refuted it, emphasizing that the expenses were borne by the Su family. Later, it was discovered that the internet celebrity had a close relationship with Wang Xiaofei's mother Zhang Lan, and was suspected of being his godson. Wang Xiaofei's emotions were out of control during the live broadcast, and she burst into swear words in a row, suspected of accusing her mother of controlling public opinion, and netizens sighed that Wang Xiaofei had such a mother. News highlights today, 7th, a new wave of cold snap hit, the temperature dropped sharply. The Central Meteorological Administration issued a special report on low temperature for 9 counties and cities. It is expected that the north of the central part in Yunnan will drop to a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius at night, and the south in Huadong will also drop to about 11 degrees Celsius. Experts pointed out that the number of low temperature days as of January this winter has reached 26, which is the longest winter in the past 10 years, and the cold snap will continue until next Monday, 10th, and reminded the public to strengthen warm measures. News highlights a woman surnamed Lin disappeared in Nanzha District, Kaohsiung City, on the 2nd, and the surveillance showed that she had gone out with a man surnamed Zhang, and she did not reappear after that. The police arrested Zhang Nan on the 5th and found bloodstains in his residence, and then salvaged the body parts in the Jianshan Canal, identified as a forest woman, and investigated it for homicide. Further investigation by the police found that the other missing woman was related to the vicinity of Zhang Nan's home, and a suspected blood sample was found in Zhang Nan's home, and DNA comparison was being conducted, and the case is still under investigation. News highlights the controversy over Wu Chunchen's strong generation continues to escalate, with the DPP caucus revealing that the Wu family controls the strong generation system, and pointing out that it has received government bids of up to 1.1 billion yuan between 2019 and 2025. Guo Yuqing criticized Wu Chuncheng for violating the principle of avoiding interests and should be condemned. It is understood that the Beijing inspection has conducted an investigation into this. Wu Chuncheng responded that the promotion of the strong generation is for the public good, and stressed that he has never intervened in the tender as a legislator. Despite this, Wu Chuncheng's company still won the government bid, which caused controversy. News highlights the news of Big S's sudden death from pneumonia caused by influenza in Japan shocked the entertainment industry, and also triggered a wave of vaccination among the Taiwanese people. Dr. Su Yifeng, a cardiologist, shared a past case in which he took care of a Chinese tourist who contracted the flu and became seriously ill in Taiwan, and recovered successfully after a month of ICU treatment and treatment with Yake membrane. Su Yifeng said that after the patient's family saw the medical expenses at the checkout, they were surprised and said that it was so cheap, and the cost was about less than NT $500,000. He further pointed out that although Taiwan may not be the most tourist-attracting country in the world, it is the best in the world in terms of medical care, which also made netizens praise Taiwan's medical system. News highlights after the sudden death of Big S, Wang Xiaofei showed grief, causing netizens to question his excessive performance, and criticized him for pretending to be affectionate by leaving a message, "Wife, I miss you so much" under Big S's old video. Zhang Yingying came forward to accuse Wang Xiaofei of using the death of Big S to establish a persona, and broke the news that he cheated in the second year of marriage, criticized Wang Xiaofei's false behavior, and even alluded to him attacking himself with an army, questioning his attempt to cover up his past behavior, and strongly opposing Wang Xiaofei to continue to speak out. News highlights: Big S unfortunately passed away due to influenza complicated by pneumonia. Gu Junyi posted on IG to express his sadness and sourness. Wang Xiaofei pretended to be desolate and ran around in the rain, alluding to Wang Xiaofei's behavior damaging the family image. Wang Xiaofei responded to the question encountered, who didn't take care of Big S, and emphasized that he has paid a lot for Big S, pointing out that he is unable to respond to the current mental breakdown, and will make further counterattacks after his emotions recover. News highlights: recently, there has been a general recall wave in Taiwan, and civic groups have submitted 21 recall bills, including Hsinchu Mayor Gao Honggan and a number of legislators. Former Vice President Annette Liu said that although the first phase of the recall bill is easy to pass, the second stage is more difficult, and the result may not be as expected, and may even lead to internal and external troubles, calling on the ruling party to handle it cautiously and avoid a crisis. News highlights: according to the latest poll released by Ling Media, the satisfaction of county mayors will affect the future election pattern, especially the 2026 county mayor election may turn around. The Kuomintang has a greater chance of turning around in Chi City, Hualien, and other places, while the DPP is facing challenges in Tainan, Pingtung, and other places. For the Blue Camp, Ms. Liu's satisfaction has declined, in part because of the impact of national issues on her governance image. However, she still has a high reputation in the Blue Camp, and it remains to be seen whether she can break through factions and competition in the future. News highlights: K. Jianming, the chief of the DPP Legislative Yuan Caucus, recently received a threatening letter listing K's family members and threatening to shoot them within a month, as well as a letter signed So Kaihuai, saying that he would attend K's farewell ceremony and choking you go to die. The DPP caucus strongly condemned such threats of violence, expressed its intolerance of such acts, and stressed that Taiwan's democracy and rule of law would not be shaken by intimidation. Wu Saiyao said that all-round protection will be carried out, and said that the people of Taiwan are not afraid of any external threat. News highlights: S. Su Ziwan, died of influenza complicated by pneumonia in Japan, and after the cremation of his body, the ashes were transported back to Taiwan by private plane, and his family sent them back to the SS home. However, there are many rumors about the SS family on the internet, involving insurance, Wang Xiaofei's behavior and internal emotions in the family. The SS mother was disheartened by this, revealing that the 3 years after the S and Gu Junyi got married were the happiest time in her life. The agent also accused Wang Xiaofei's mother and son of spreading 5 false rumors, emphasizing that these rumors are far from the facts. News highlights: S. Su Ziwan, died of flu complicated by pneumonia at the age of 48, a tragic event that raised concerns about her estate and custody of her children. Big SS husband Gu Junyi recently issued a statement, emphasizing that he would hand over Big SS estate to SS mother, and said that he would protect the rights and interests of his children in accordance with the law and avoid the intervention of unscrupulous people. Initially, he referred to wicked people in his statement, but later revised it to emphasize that the rights of children would be protected through lawyers. Despite this, Gu Junyi still retained the wording of bad guy in the Korean version of the statement, making some people think that he was speaking out against Wang Xiaofei's family. Wang Xiaofei said that he would be ready to fight back, with a strong tone, and pointed out the problem of Big SS care. This turmoil has made the family conflicts after the SS death more and more obvious, which has aroused the attention of all parties. News highlights: a 73-year-old man surnamed Zhang was suspected of killing a 71-year-old woman surnamed Zhao and throwing her body into the No. 5 boat canal in Tianjin. After the woman went missing, the police investigation found that Zhang Nan had entered and left the house many times, and found bloodstains and suspicious items. On the 6th, the police found body parts in the boat canal and speculated that the motive for the murder may have been related to feelings or money. The woman's head was not found, and the medical examiner believed that the killer had buried it. Investigation is ongoing. News highlights: scientists have attracted attention to their longevity and anti-cancer ability, and Dr. Zhang Jiaming pointed out that the low metabolic rate of whales and the additional gene repair genes can reduce gene mutations and cancer risk. Humans can mimic whales' anti-cancer mechanisms through a healthy diet, good sleep, moderate exercise, and blood sugar control. Avoiding the risk of cancer, improving immunity, and enhancing the intestinal flora can help prevent cancer. News highlights: when President of the Legislative Council Han Kuo-yu presided over the consultation between the government and the opposition yesterday, 6th, K. Jianming, the chief of the DPP caucus, slapped the table angrily and choked "Don't talk dry" because Wang Hengui, Secretary General of the Kuomintang caucus, prevented him from speaking. Zhang Kekai of the People's Party was also choked by K. Jianming, causing a stalemate. Seeing this, Han Yu hurriedly reminded K. Jianming that his foot had just been operated on, and announced a 5-minute break to try to ease the tension. News highlights: Li Yangziu's family has been in politics for 3 generations and has been deeply involved in the local area for decades, but was recently accused by former DPP legislator Gao Jie of owning an undeclared overseas mansion. Li Yangziu frankly admitted his past negligence and was willing to accept administrative punishment. During the street interview, most people supported her, believing that she was enthusiastic about her work, and pointed out that the mansion was the property of her father's previous generation and was not illegal. Some members of the public believe that her removal is unlikely to succeed and emphasize that her service to the local area are worthy of recognition. News highlights: the sudden death of Big S has aroused the attention of netizens on both sides of the strait to the problem of influenza. In the video, mainland travel blogger Lao Song reminds the precautions for traveling to Japan, especially during the severe period of influenza. He suggested preparing a translation app to facilitate medical treatment and communication, and reminded to get vaccinated against the flu in advance and wear a mask when going out. Lao Song pointed out that Japan's medical conditions are good, but medical treatment needs to be paid for out of pocket and the cost is high, so it is recommended to buy travel insurance with medical protection. News highlights: Taiwan stocks rebounded day by day after falling sharply in the red market in the year of the snake, and opened lower and higher on the 7th, with information service stocks outstanding, rising by more than 6%. Information service stocks such as 01, Sunlian, Lincoln, Huajing, information communication, etc., have a daily limit for many shares in the intraday to attract funds to advance. 01. Sunlian and other companies had bright revenue in January, and their stock prices rose sharply. Others, such as Midat, Sansang Electric, and Guanmao, also performed strongly, and the overall information and service stocks led the gains in both the OTC market and the listed market. The market is optimistic about the prospects of AI and software services, and the entry of funds has pushed up the stock price. News highlights investors are increasingly aware of the hidden fees of ETFs, such as manager fees and custodian fees, which have a profound impact on performance, especially long-term regular fixed investments. The actual total expense ratio of Cathay Perpetual High Dividend, 00878, for the whole year of 2024 is only 0.42%, which is the lowest among high dividend ETFs. Last year, the custodian fee was lowered to 0.03% and the manager's fee was reduced to 0.25%, allowing investors to enjoy the advantage of low cost, especially the number of regular fixed investment accounts reached 307,920, the largest among all types of ETFs. 00878 is also committed to inclusive finance, so that all kinds of investors can enjoy low-cost returns. News highlights in an exclusive radio interview, Interior Minister Liu Shifang mentioned that there are already 5 million old homes in Taiwan, many of which are located in the city's elite areas, and most of the residents are elderly. In order to promote urban renewal, the government has proposed the Extended Life of Old Homes scheme, which provides housing reinforcement and interior improvement solutions to enhance the safety and comfort of the elderly without relocating. The scheme includes government subsidies, floor area awards, relaxation of financing conditions, and streamlining administrative processes to address coordination issues among households. Lau stressed that the scheme can help the elderly live in peace and enhance the attractiveness of the old community, promote intergenerational CO living in the housing market, and will be amended in the future to ensure that the reinforcement scheme has a legal basis. News highlights Apple plans to release the new iPhone SE in the coming days to stimulate sales and attract more Android users. According to Bloomberg, Apple may choose to announce the model on its official website instead of holding a press conference. The new iPhone SE will look similar to the iPhone 14 and will come with Apple's AI software, Apple Intelligence. The model is expected to go on sale later this month, and Apple retail stores in many regions have already sold out the existing iPhone SE, hinting at the imminent arrival of the new model. News highlights after Big S's sudden death, her husband Gu Junyi spoke out on social platforms for the first time, expressing unspeakable sadness, criticizing someone for spreading fake news to damage the family's image, and emphasizing that he would protect Big S's favorite He-Won. Big S's ex-husband Wang Xiaofei responded through relatives and friends, accusing who didn't take care of Big S and preparing to go to war. The death of Big S triggered a confrontation between her husband and her husband, and attracted attention in South Korea, and Super Junior Captain Lit also expressed condolences. News highlights a well-known live broadcaster surnamed Hu in Zhonghua was accused of beating by a former female employee, causing head injuries and bruises on his thighs and calves. The live broadcaster surnamed Hu responded that he did it because the employee took drugs and instigated his colleagues to leave, and admitted that his behavior was inappropriate. He said that the other party had threatened to buy out the beating film for $3 million, and was sued after refusing. The police have investigated the suspicions of assault and attempted homicide, and the case has been handed over to the local prosecutor for investigation. News highlights Gu Junyi spoke publicly for the first time on social platforms on February 6, expressing his grief over the death of DS, Su Ziwan. He mentioned that in the face of criticism and rumors, he was determined to protect the SS family and children, and emphasized that all the inheritance would be handed over to Su's mother to protect the rights and interests of the children. He thanked all those who mourned for DS, and said that the memories of DS during this time were priceless gifts, and he would continue to protect the people she loved the most. Subsequently, Gu Junyi deleted some sentences and clarified part of the content about the child's property. News highlights People's Party legislator Wu Chuncheng's strong generation controversy has attracted sustained attention, with both the DPP and Times Power accusing his family business of contracting government bids for a long time, amounting to 1.1 billion yuan. Wang Wangyu, chairman of the Power of the Times, called on Wu Chuncheng's relatives to withdraw from the government bidding and promote the repeal of the Zhuang promotion law by citizens. Wu Chuncheng said that he would fully cooperate with the investigation and emphasized that he had been operating the company for 30 years and had paid taxes in accordance with the law, and had given up the Zhuang generation trademark. The Beijing Procuratorate has intervened in the investigation and will investigate corruption and other crimes. News highlights South Korean girl band NewJeans announced in November last year that they had unilaterally terminated their contract with agency ADOR, citing the company's failure to fulfill its contractual obligations. Recently, they announced their new band name NJZ and announced that they will make their debut at the ComplexCon Festival in Hong Kong in March. After changing its name, NJZ updated its social media account and image photo, and said that it will participate in the Complex live concert from March 21 to 23. Minji, a member of the group, also said that he is looking forward to sharing the new music with fans around the world. ADOR insisted on the validity of the contract and filed a lawsuit. News highlights after U.S. President Donald Trump took office, federal agencies stepped up their crackdown on illegal immigration. Recently, the Los Angeles Drug Enforcement Bureau, with the assistance of the Taiwan police, arrested a wanted criminal surnamed Tsai in Taiwan. The offender was involved in the killing of 2 people by drunk driving and sexually assaulting a young child, and will be deported to Taiwan in a few weeks. The arrest was made through the coordination of the Taiwan Police Department's liaison officers in the West and the United States, and reflects the Trump administration's aggressive enforcement of illegal immigration. Federal agencies such as ICE, FBI, and DEA continue to target foreign prisoners who have fled to the United States. News highlights the Taipei National Taxation Bureau of the Ministry of Finance investigated the lottery of Cloud Tree Planting Fund e-collection point tree, and pointed out that although many people won the lottery repeatedly, no illegal circumstances were found. In this regard, internet celebrity Cheap issued 4 major doubts, criticizing the lottery process for having a weight adjustment design, failing to disclose the rules and probabilities, and believing that it was cheating within cheating. He questioned whether the Treasury Department was aware and accused officials of shirking responsibility. The Taipei National Taxation Bureau said that it had filed a lawsuit against the contractor and pursued administrative responsibility to ensure the rights and interests of participants. News highlights: the Asia-Pacific City Park in Myawaddy, Myanmar's fraudulent city, held a lively Spring Festival gala during the Chinese New Year, with videos showing lion dances, fashion shows, fireworks and other programs, and promoting the Asia-Pacific City Spring Festival Gala in Chinese, English, and Burmese. However, the recent abduction of Chinese into scam parks has prompted China to exert pressure on Thailand and Myanmar. Since the 5th of this month, the Thai government has cut off the power of 5 fraudulent parks, including the KK parks in Myawaddy and Tachili, and implemented measures to cut off the grid, electricity, and oil, causing huge losses due to fraud. News highlights: former Vice President Annette Lu expressed her views on the general recall wave in Taiwan, pointing out that the first stage of the proposal is easy to meet, but it is quite difficult to pass the second and third hurdles, and stressed that it is impossible to completely recall. She believes that the recall process will consume a lot of resources and may end up being fruitless, or even allow China to intervene. Annette Lu warned that the recent incidents in South Korea and the Philippines show that cooperation between the inside and the outside world can cause chaos, which is a big warning for Taiwan, and called on the ruling party to lead the people to stabilize the situation and avoid a crisis. News highlights: the news of Big S's death shocked the entertainment industry and caused a lot of controversy. When the news came back to Chinese mainland, some netizens said that Wang Xiaofei is the true love of Big S, but Big S's agent immediately refuted it, emphasizing that Big S's mother believes that her marriage with Gu Junyi is her happiest time. Gu Junyi issued a statement on IG, expressing that he was experiencing indescribable grief and mentioning that some people deliberately damaged their family's image. He emphasized that he would hand over all inheritance rights to the SS mother, and expressed his desire to protect everything that the S loved the most. News highlights: South Korean national singer Song Dae-hyun, transliteration, died of heart palsy on the 7th at the age of 78. He rose to fame with his song, The Day of Sunrise, released in 1975, and became a legend in the singing world. Despite several surgeries and aggressive treatment, he eventually passed away from unforeseen heart paralysis, much to the grief of many. Song Dae-chan's funeral hall will be located at the Seoul National University Hospital Funeral Home. His early life was relatively low-key, and it was not until 1975 that he gained widespread recognition with. News highlights: after the S, Suzy Won, died of illness, the custody of her 2 minor children will be handed over to her biological father Wang Xiaofei in accordance with current Taiwan law. Although Wang Xiaofei's current wife, Ma Xiaomei, said that the most important thing is to take care of the children first, suggesting that the children may be brought back to Beijing, Counselor Lin Qifen strongly recommends that the children's current living environment should be maintained so that they can continue to grow up in Taiwan, so that they can have more stable emotional support and living environment. Lin Qifen believes that the child's current life in Taiwan has the support of his father, and he should avoid sudden relocation in order to maintain psychological stability. News highlights: this year's NBA Star Game will adopt a new restructure, with 4 teams, consisting of O'Neal, Barkley, Smith, and the rookie game champion, each team of 8 players, a total of 3 matchups. The O'Neal team selected stars such as James, Curry, and Durant, while the Smith team had Edwards, Bronson, and others, and the Barkley team had Jokic and Andertokounmpo. The All-Star Game will be held at the Warriors' home court from February 15 to 17 and has caused quite a bit of controversy. News highlights: the Democratic Progressive Party's Legislative Yuan Caucus accused People's Party legislator Wu Chuncheng of receiving government bids totaling 1.1 billion yuan for his company, questioning him for not avoiding suspicion. Wu Chuncheng's promotion of the Strong Generation Law has been questioned, and it has been pointed out that his wife and relatives are linked to a number of related companies. Wu Chuncheng was accused of influencing the bid as a legislator, and froze a large budget during the budget review, and finally froze 205 million yuan due to the dispute. Wu Chuncheng denied participating in the bid as a legislator and said that he had no position or shares in the relevant company. News highlights: Big S, Suzy Won, died of influenza complicated by pneumonia at the age of 48, causing shock from all walks of life. Some netizens listed the timing of her infection, speculating that she may have been infected by the black fan couple Chen Jianzhou and Fan Wiki, and flooded the social accounts of the two. When Chen Jianzhou appeared at the basketball game on the 5th, he said that he would recall Big S in a quiet way, but on the same day, he shared a clip of the cheerleading team's hot dance, which caused dissatisfaction among netizens and criticized him for ignoring his grief and acting infinitely. News highlights: after the S, Suzy Won, died suddenly on the 2nd, the ashes returned to Taiwan by a private charter flight on the 5th. Xiao S confirmed through his agent that the ashes had returned home, but the family did not hold a farewell ceremony and kept a low profile. The well-known Feng Shui master Zhang Bail strongly recommended that ashes should not be kept at home, as this will affect the fortune of the family and may cause health or mental problems. He pointed out that leaving ashes in the home is like a living person living in a grave and should be placed in a special place. Regarding the issue of making a necklace from ashes, he also said that this would bring bad luck. News highlights: if the US imposes tariffs on EU exports, the European Commission's Executive Board may retaliate by initiating an anti-coercion tool, ACI, which will be the first time the EU has used the tool to retaliate against the US Silicon Valley tech giant. ACI includes new or increased tariffs, trade restrictions, revocation of intellectual property rights, and even the blocking of foreign investment or restrictions on financial services. The EU stressed that appropriate retaliatory measures would be taken on the basis of evidence and would require ratification by at least 15 member states. Trump has said he will impose tariffs on the EU due to the US trade deficit with the EU and problems with technology companies. News highlights: AI search engine Perplexity recently opened up its use of the Chinese AI inference model DeepSeek R1, and stated that the model is not restricted by Chinese policies and can avoid political issues that would otherwise be banned on DeepSeek, such as Tiananmen Square. Perplexity's DeepSeek R1 can also help plan useful itineraries such as a trip to Busan, South Korea. Experts recommend that when using an inference model, you should provide structured instructions for a more precise response. This type of inference model takes a long time to operate, and will disassemble the problem and think about it step by step, so as to improve the accuracy of the problem. News highlights: the Nissan-Honda merger looks set to fall through, and Nissan is now looking for new partners, with Honhai being seen as a potential partner. Nissan's board of directors is reportedly open to working with Honhai, which could also be an opportunity for Honhai to get in touch with Nissan again. Nissan's search for partners has expanded to include the technology industry, especially in the United States, considering the importance of the North American market and the future development of electric and autonomous driving technology. If the cooperation goes through, Honhai said that it will not get involved in brand management and will focus on manufacturing services. News highlights as robotics applications become more widespread, technologies such as collaborative robots, cobots, and autonomous mobile robots, AMRs, are becoming increasingly important. Nexcom's subsidiary, Chuangbo, focuses on the field of robot control and motion control, and is committed to providing solutions that can increase production capacity while ensuring safety. The modular robot control system developed by Chuangbo can shorten the development time and reduce the development cost, and help the robot to enter the market faster.